Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Back to do The Horrorman's Slashback Saturday, Week 1. This is such a cool idea that the Horrorman came up with. This is going to be a slasher film per week with a certain theme. Now, this week's theme is party. I'm going to be honest, I had kind of a hard time picking one. That's not to say that there's not parties in slasher films, there is. The first movies that came to mind, to be honest, are The House on Sorority Row and Terror Train, which both were done. One by the horror section and one by Adam Paul Beaumont. But the first one that actually came to mind, and it actually came to mind with my friend Brad, Bronco Juggalo as well, is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, with the famous pool party scene. And you guys know me, I kind of wanted to do something that was a little bit off the beaten track. The film that I picked could have very well been one of my Forgotten Fridays, because it definitely doesn't get the love it deserves. And the film that I'm speaking of is The Redeemer, Son of Satan. Now, this film also goes by another title, which is Class Reunion Massacre. Now, I love this cover. This is one of my favorite covers of all time. It's just really, really cool. The back is really cool, and it was one of those movies that I was definitely obsessed with seeing. I first saw it on YouTube and kind of fell in love with it. It's a very quirky film, and I pretty much bought it right away. Now, just a warning for those of you who see this and really want to watch it. It is a really good film. The transfer is not good at all. That's not to say it's unwatchable, but it is very rough. And it is actually stated in the beginning from Code Red, which is the company that came out with this film, that this was actually cobbled together from a bunch of different sources and from a 35 millimeter print. And it's probably the best we'll ever see it, I'm assuming. They said it was below their standards to actually release something like this, but the fans demanded it. So, I can see why this is a very fun film. Which kind of makes me laugh because they actually came out with this on Blu-ray, and a lot of people said, oh, I gotta have the Blu-ray. Well, it's the same transfer, so... Anyway, so definitely be wary if you do want to see this, and, you know, if it's something you're interested in purchasing, the transfer is a little rough on this one. But I actually really love this film. Now, The Redeemer, Son of Satan is a 1978 film which runs approximately 83 minutes and is directed by Konstantin S. Gochis. He actually has no other titles to his credit. This film also stars Damian Knight, Janetta Arnett, Nick Carter, and not the Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, and Nikki Barthen. Now, a very brief synopsis. This movie is kind of, like I say, quirky, and some of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's it's kind of messy a little bit, but it's a really, really fun slasher. A group of 6 people are invited to a class reunion. Kind of prom night style or the sleeper style, where they're called up on the phone and invited for certain reasons. They go back to their class or their school and are locked in and basically picked off one by one by a killer. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say, because there is a lot more to this film, and eh, yeah, yeah. I'm just going to leave it there. It's kind of quirky. Some of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but boy is it fun. It is such a fun movie. It's very creative. There's a lot of different disguises that the killer goes by. It's just a fun movie. That's pretty much why I picked this one. I know it's not the most popular slasher in the world, and the party scene in it is very brief, but it is in there. It's a definite small class reunion of 6 people. So, but this is actually a favorite of mine. Um, I love quirky slashers. Um, Even slashers that don't make a lot of sense, it doesn't really bother me. Nick and I, the last shoegazer, actually watched The Incubus. The end of that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I don't know. It's just something about the atmosphere in that film, and also this one. The atmosphere is just great. Now, a couple interesting things about the film. The school that this was held at is the location for the high school was the Staunton Military Academy in Stanton, Virginia. Now that is pretty much 3 hours and 31 minutes away from me, um, which is not that far. And the church choir, other than the main kid, Christopher, and the bully, was made up of the Staunton First Baptist Church Choir. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and especially since it's pretty close to me, actually. You know, being 3 hours and 31 minutes away, it's not that far. So I thought that was really cool. But definitely check this one out. This is a really fun, obscure slasher that I don't think it's the love it deserves. So, but if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time.